Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today we have the great opportunity to speak to Marcus Teoh. Marcus Teoh is actually the expert on zero-budget Facebook marketing and also a best-selling author. But to delve more into what and how and who Marcus is, let's ask the man himself. Hi, Marcus. How are you?
Hi, great, Ernest. Thanks for having me.
Well done. Marcus, I'm just curious, zero-budget Facebook marketing. Can you tell me a little bit more? And then later on, we'll talk about the authorship. What you're doing.
Sure. In today's business world, the first thing that comes to mind when anyone wants to do business is to do Facebook ads. But not everybody knows how to do it, and not everybody has the budget to do it. And if you need to spend a lot of time and budget to do it, most people will say, forget it. So I was in that situation where after I spent all my money buying stocks, and I was a branded handbag seller, I realized that I have no more funds to promote my business. So because of my situation where we have credit card debts buying all the stocks, we had to find ways to market our business. And I realized that I have many friends on Facebook. So I thought, hey, I already have a network or a database, however you want to call it. Why not get my friends to help me? Either they can buy from me or they can help me to invite other people to buy handbags from me. So that's how I managed to come up with a thing called zero budget Facebook marketing.
Right. Sorry, before you tell me a little bit more about your authorship, can you tell me a little bit more about your handbag excursion? What happened when you did your zero budget Facebook marketing? What happened with that experiment?
When you are selling something expensive like handbags, the first question they always ask is, hey, are your handbags authentic? So you need to have someone who already trusts you. And where else if not Facebook? Because you can't be calling everyone and saying, hey, I have a handbag sale coming. But when you post on Facebook, it's very subtle marketing. So if let's say you are my Facebook friend, right? And you saw a post and then you know I'm selling a handbag, and then you can respond to it or you can just leave it there. Whether you respond or not, the message is already sent. Ernest would know Marcus is selling branded handbags. And then you say, hey, Marcus is a friend for 5 years. He wouldn't run away with my 5,000 ringgit. So then from there, when you like or comment, your friends would see it. So it extends beyond my immediate network.
So what you're saying is actually you're leveraging off trust through a social media platform in order to get this going. But isn't this also a double-edged sword? Because all it takes is just one bad deal and then you could also unravel everything. Would that be correct?
Correct. So it's a double-edged sword. You have a choice. If you do nothing, then you'll be stuck. So I said you have to do something. And that's why you just have to make sure that your product is good and your service is great. So you have to respond pretty quickly in certain times. But the beauty is that these are already our friends. Most of the time, they are more forgiving and understanding. They will tell you if they are not happy. They are not like the typical Facebook page where they will just post a very negative and damaging comment.
I see. So just curiously, when you actually use this, your main number one goal is actually to use the network of friends or leverage off the network of friends through trust. But what if they're not really friends, they're more of acquaintances? So does this still work as well?
Yes, because the beauty of Facebook still at the moment is you are able to see the mutual friends. So if let's say I met you for the first time at a networking event and I saw that we have 10 mutual friends, I'm like, I think Ernest is trusted. Then if we have 100 friends, this friend must be a good guy. And you can verify with a fellow common friend, right? Hey, how's this guy?
Or you just have very big common pools of friends together, I guess. That's probably the way it is. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your authorship. I mean, what have you been writing? I know that you came up with a book recently. It's a pretty interesting book.
Yeah, so when I was doing the handbag business, after a while, the ringgit fell and then I had problems with my suppliers when they started to supply me with fake bags. So I couldn't continue with my business. Lost quite a bit of money there. And I got invited to become a part-time lecturer in one of the colleges teaching entrepreneurship. And I fell in love with teaching. So when my handbag business was not doing well, I taught for part-time. And subsequently, I left my university to start the training business. And it was miserable because as a new speaker and trainer who would come to your class because I was teaching people how to start business with only RM 199. So it's easy to start, but the world wants to see results. They like to hear things like, $1 million, 6-7 figure. Starting low doesn't seem to excite them. And I don't have many testimonials to show proof that they make a lot of money. All my testimonials are from my uni students. They make 5,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit at most. So that's not enough to impress people. So it's very tough. So I did a lot of free talks and trainings where I was charging only 250 per day per pax, and I struggled, and it took a toll on my business and also my relationship. So at that time, 2016, business was no good, relationship failed, so I was rock bottom. And that was the defining moment where I had to do something crazy. That year, 2016, I was approached by a publisher in April, and I told him I'm not going to write a book because I need money. Writing a book is time consuming. So at the end of the year, after my separation with my fiance, I did this crazy thing, signed a publishing contract in November, and then September the following year, my book about entrepreneurship was out.
Wow,
and the amazing thing was, most amazing part was within a month it was out, it became #1 in MPH top 10 bestseller.
Wow, okay. Hang on, did you use the secrets that you had with your handbags for the book as well?
Totally.
Okay, well done. Okay. I'm gonna get the secrets out of you, Marcus. Okay.
Sure.
I just wanted to backtrack a little bit. So what you said is very interesting. You had to go through some really, really tough times, do something that you liked, but it didn't really pay off, I reckon. But I think therein also lies a lot of lessons that you probably extracted that you wouldn't have gotten if you didn't have to go through it. Would that be correct?
Yes, totally. So now is a very exciting time because everyone is forced to do something very uncomfortable or stop from doing something they are comfortable. So from this period, those who leverage well on this period would really just fly up.
Okay. And I don't want to remind you of the bad times, but if you're able to ask you what was the biggest lesson that you learned during that rock bottom time, what would it be? What would be the diamond of the lesson?
When you have lost everything, you have no fear. You have nothing else to lose.
Amazing. That's an amazing lesson. It's an entrepreneurship lesson. It's an entrepreneurship 101 lesson.
Yes, and the best part was this. When I wanted to publish a book on entrepreneurship, one friend who's very blunt asked me, "Hey Marcus, who would buy your book? Your business failed, man." I said, "I don't know. Let's find out."
Well done. Okay. Well, I think your book has definitely been selling and moving already. It's definitely going to be on someone's bookshelf as a Bible for people to read. Okay. So fast forwarding it now. Now that you've taken this story and you've also tried to help people to do marketing, to do awareness, and also to get over their fear, can I ask you what are the typical challenges that you currently are seeing? Let's leave real estate negotiators aside for the moment because they are entrepreneurs by themselves. Let's just talk about the general class of people who are either salaried employees who may not necessarily be able to go back to a job because the job may also not be there by the time this thing is over. Or they may actually be using this MCO period to think, okay, what am I going to do? Maybe what I do is not really what I want to do. So what happens? So what kind of questions would they be asking? What kind of questions should they be asking themselves? And how do they define what they want to do? And how can they move from comfort to beyond, which is what you did for yourself? How would you advise them?
There's always the question between profit versus passion. So I would say passion can also be a hobby. So I would recommend that ideally in the perfect world, you have both profit and passion together, where you can run a business and it's something you love doing. But if you are so passionate about something and you can't make money out of it, after a while, you will be worn down. It's like, oh, okay, I have to find a job. Ideally, you make a little profit, and then if you can learn to love what you do, that's perfect. So the question to those who want to start something or are thinking of options is like, start with problems, immediate problems. Because when someone is having a big major problem that needs to be solved now, and you become a solution, high chance you have a chance of getting them to pay you for something.
Understand. But how do you actually ascertain value that you are creating and the value that you're charging for? Because most of the time the effort is very high, but people say, I'm only willing to pay this much. So how do you deal with that gap?
I always use a mirror. I will first ask myself, hey, if I'm on the other side, how do I perceive the value? Am I willing to pay this amount? First step. And the second step is more comprehensive. which require a lot of more hard work, but totally worth it, is to ask your target audience. Just like the approach I use for all my workshops and my book. I would not just write a book. So if you are my target audience, you're an entrepreneur, I would say, hey Ernest, tell me 5 things that keep you awake at night. So you would say, maybe this room is too warm. Then I would think, maybe you need a fan or aircon, for example. My neighbor's too noisy. Maybe you need insulation. I'm worried about my business cash flow because of. So gather a lot of data and then find the solution. Because if you tell me your problems, I'm not selling. I'm a friend. You are very open to sharing. And then now I come back to you and say, hey Ernest, remember you told me that your room is a bit too warm and you don't like to buy this fan or this aircon because would you want to try this? If you remember, talk about the cash flow problem. Now there's this app that can help you to solve these problems. Like, hey, you want to have a look? High chance you say yes, right? Because I'm solving your problem. I'm not selling you something that you don't need. Where today in social media, there's too many people in WhatsApp. Hey, please share my post. Hey, please share my poster. Please do this. It's like, why should I? Because you haven't earned the trust and the problem that you are going to solve for people yet.
I also take it one step further. Even though you are a friend, and if you were to ask me to do that, it's going to be very challenging. Maybe on trust currency or relationship currency, okay, I'll do it once. Second time is like, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah, and the third time is, please don't call me anymore, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. But do you think that people have to go through that kind of hardship in order to distill the lessons that you have learned to get you to where you are right now? Do they have to do that?
Not really. But human beings are like that. If today a person is doing very well, the ego is a bit higher and they're not as open generally. It's like someone when, you have nothing, you're so open because you are at maybe even a desperate situation. You're more open. It's just human nature, I guess.
Okay.
But of course, some people who's highly successful, highly open, very humble, they're always open, listening.
Right. Well, I would like to bring this back towards the real estate industry and the real estate community. I know you do a lot of work with real estate agents and negotiators and agencies as well. I know that when you teach them and you share with them some of the tips and tricks in order for them to get superior results, and I think that's really important. Can I ask you, what would be the number one fundamental pre-work that needs to be done before they take your advice? What is it that they must have ready before they can absorb the information that you give them? Because you can give them all the information, but if they're not ready, sorry, it's not going to work.
It's going to be how people perceive us, means your personal brand. Because when they see you as someone successful and trusted in your field, somehow whatever you say, people are like, oh, okay. That's why sometimes having a book helps. Otherwise, you should be seen speaking, seen to be on media, social or traditional media. That will help. And also be really helping people, like posting content that's very, very high in value without expecting anything in return.
Okay. So these are the things that they could do for themselves as a real estate negotiator or real estate agency to show that they actually have things to share of value.
Yes. Not just, hey, if you want this property, call me. Oh, those posts are not going to help the real estate guys because you are seen as a salesman. You are selling.
Okay.
I didn't tell you that I wanted to buy this property. Why are you shoving it into me? And why are you keep posting this on Facebook? But if you change the angle and say, when you buy a property, here are 5 things you must know. Wow, okay. I'm not buying a property today, but I already have formed a positive impression. Thanks, Ernest, for sharing with me that you need to check the wall, you need to check the pipes. Okay. So next time I have questions, I come to you first.
I see. Okay. So you're setting yourself as you're setting content and value as a separation between you and anybody else who's just a salesman.
Yes. And in a lockdown period like this, it's best to focus on content like food. Talking about cooking, because indirectly you can talk about kitchen. So you're not selling the property, but you're talking about kitchen. So the next time, if someone whose priority is looking for a property the wife who cooks loves, then you become someone who's very influential because you have cooked so much. So you're not seen as a property seller, but as a chef who recommends to buy this property because the kitchen has these benefits.
Marcus, isn't this a very long journey? what I'm hearing from you is that, from the day you produce the content and you share that content to, even if it converts, it's a very long journey. So is duration of time also a limiting factor in people's mindset? Oh, I need to actually make it now.
Yes. So let me paint you an analogy. I hope this is still appropriate. If a guy likes a girl, a beautiful lady, the guy's intention is to kiss the lady immediately, right? Sales mindset. I want to kiss the girl now. I want to sell a property now. But have you asked yourself, is the lady ready to be kissed? She's not.
Same.
You still have to talk first, get the number, buy tea, lunch, dinner, watch movie, buy flowers, and when the time is right, you can kiss the girl. But of course, you have lucky guys. You can kiss the girl on your first date. So that's an analogy that I use.
So it's a great salesman or someone who actually invests for the future. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, if you're lucky, yeah, you get to close the deal like one post, but that rarely happens.
Okay, so in moving forward, based on this MCO situation whereby people cannot move, cannot go do site visits, cannot do viewings, can't go see the customer to yam cha, to have tea, what would you recommend in terms of the work that you do, which is digital marketing through social media? What would you recommend that they could possibly do to still reach, engage, connect, and also build that relationship with friends of friends or strangers for the time being? What would you recommend?
I recommend now is the best time to build relationships. Being salespersons, I know KPI is sales, but now it's not the time where you shove property into people's faces, but to really do something just the opposite. Facebook is just a platform. You can even use a phone, or in fact, you should use a phone and call this person. But your conversation is very important. It should be about this person. If let's say your potential client is someone who runs a restaurant, and then you would go through his or her Facebook post first to understand what's happening. And for example, if you see that this person is having this takeaway delivery, you can say, hey, I saw you have this delivery. I know business is tough. I'm a real estate and I live around close to your shop. Is there anything I can do for you? This will win hearts. Not many people are doing it. So you should do it because first, it's low cost or no cost. Second, it's relationship and branding building. So most people are thankful, and if they don't, it's okay. You are still doing a good deed. Believe in the universe, right? It comes back. So use social media to share about what you have, and also use social media. For example, if you run a restaurant, now I'm going to post something great about your restaurant. And because you're on Facebook, you can see it. And when my friends comment, you can see it. So it's action-based. And because of this, the relationship is built. You are not just a real estate negotiator. You are a friend, helpful friend.
But do you think that there's going to be a challenge? Like if everybody has a Facebook account and everybody posts everything, just say even one post a day, there's so many posts. How does one stand out?
Yes, everybody is posting, but Facebook has it that it doesn't mean that today you post 3 times, I will see 3 posts. You may post 3 times, but I may only see 1 post because Facebook decides. And then again, it all depends on your type of content, because if your content is good, 1 post a day is not enough.
Okay.
If that's the formula that I share, it's called MEMEPO, MEMEPO. How to get people to really like your content. Is it motivational? M. Is it educational? Do you teach people something? Is it moving or touching? That means it touches the heart. After people reading, it's like, oh. Is it entertaining, making people laugh? Now there's a lot of jokes going on. Is it a public service announcement? P, where you share something really valuable? Or is it opportunity? O. So formula MEMEPO. Follow this formula and your post should receive pretty good engagements.
Well done. And do you recommend, say, pictures or videos, or is there any difference? Or do you recommend just someone types out, just use text only? Is there a difference?
The best now is a picture with very good caption and storytelling. That's the best. Video, surprisingly, the engagement is not so high. I'm not sure why. Maybe Facebook wants to reduce the bandwidth. And text can also receive very high engagement if the content is good, meaning it's very engaging and relatable.
Interesting. And just out of curiosity, does language pose any difference in terms of the interactions or reactions that are created? if it is in English, Chinese, Malay, or
Mm-hmm.
Manglish, or Singlish for that matter? Does it matter?
It all depends on your circle of friends, because now I'm looking at personal network. It's not the Facebook ads. Again, it's always about your target audience. If your friends are Mandarin speaking, then you better be writing Chinese words.
Okay. So, question next is that what's your next project? What do you plan to do with this time as well? What are you doing to keep sane? And when's your next book?
Well, this year I'm going to publish a second book, but now I'm focused on helping entrepreneurs changing their mindsets using a book and Facebook, because the traditional thinking is if I publish a book, you need to spend 6 to 9 months to generate leads and business and hopefully build my brand. So it's too slow. I did that and I discovered that that's not the best way. Business came in too slow. So now it's the reverse. Because of the book and using Facebook, you can immediately generate business leads. Let's say I'm in real estate. Instead of me coming to you and telling you, hey, Ernest, I'm in Subang, and Subang there's this good property coming out. That's sales. I will tell you, Ernest, I'm going to write a book about real estate covering Subang, Puchong, and so on. And I really need your input because you are a resident there for so many years. Would it be okay if I interview you and ask you some questions so that I can get your input and talk about it in my book? So depending on how strategic and how smooth the conversation goes, at the end of the day, there's high chance that you would be impressed. Because let's put it this way, how many author friends do you have? Let's say if you are not many, right? First, not many. Yeah, not many. Second, how many authors before they publish their book ask you for input?
Lesser, significantly lesser.
Even lesser.
Yes.
Correct. To most people, it's less than 5 or even 0. So now, as a real estate negotiator, you are writing a book. They will not see you as a real estate negotiator. They will see you as an author. Atas a bit, right? I'm an author. I just happen to be a real estate negotiator. And because of this, you are pulling people. And sometimes people like some bragging rights. If you are buying a property, your real estate negotiator is a best-selling author. You will tell your friends, right? Oh, this is my agent. Wow, he's a best-selling author. Go into bookstore, see? I bought a house from him. It's different.
Okay, I understand.
So you use this approach. You interview 100 potential buyers.
Okay.
200, 300. It's up to you. This is the hard work part, and you can do this without showing them any units yet. When they contact you, your closing rate is definitely going to be much higher because you have gained their trust. You have shown that you know something, and you show that you are here to stay, because writing a book is not like 4 weeks or 4 months. Sometimes it could be longer. So it's a long haul program. But of course, after you have done this, you should write a book, and it's not difficult. Don't write too thick. And Facebook allows you to communicate this on a daily basis in a very subtle and attractive way.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much for your tips and ideas and feedback and thoughts. I'm just scribbling notes like that, and my page is almost all covered with notes already. Marcus, thank you so much for sharing, and I really want to wish you all the very best in terms of your next book, and also in terms of your sharing of how to make Malaysians better. I sincerely hope that people who are tuning in will be able to take this information, use it in any way that you want. Marcus will be tagged on my post anyways to actually say that if you need anything or you need to talk to him, please feel free, because at the end of the day, we believe in working together to make this better for everybody else. Lastly, I also want to share this with people, and I'm pretty sure Marcus will agree with it, but if you don't, let me know. Don't waste the MCO period. Don't waste it by squandering the time, because this is like a free holiday. A free holiday that you absolutely can use to your benefit or waste. Pick one.
Totally.
Yeah, so actually I didn't get into this, Marcus. What are you doing on your day-to-day basis right now? Right now, how do you spend your day?
Having a lot of Zoom calls like this with different business associates and partners, where we understand each other's business and help each other promote business, because symbiotic relationships is very powerful. Like in real estate, you should be spending your time now with Feng Shui Master. Why? Because if a Feng Shui Master asks someone to buy a property, this person most likely is going to buy a property, and the Feng Shui Master can give you business. You should be spending time with renovators, because when someone renovates an office or house, they will always ask, hey, do you know where are good places to relocate or to buy or sell or rent. And there's a whole long list. I think I can go for an hour for this. But spend your time with very strategic partners where when you get business, he or she will get business, and the opposite. So that's how I'm spending my time, and of course building my landing page for my upcoming workshops, because I can't have my physical workshops, so my programs will be online.
Well done. I wish you again all the very best. And I think I'm quoting someone when I say this: your net worth is based on your network. And I think you espouse that.
Add?
Sure, please add. What is that?
Your network is your net worth only if you work it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant and very true. Great. Thanks again, Marcus. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and we wish you guys a happy day ahead. Good luck and all the very best. Thanks again. Okay.
Thanks, Ernest. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.